Hi, Albert here with Mainland Cycle Center. Today I want to show you a 2016 Kawasaki. This is a Ninja H2, and made two versions of this bike, the H2 and the H2r. And the R is the off-road only model. This one is street legal. These are rated at 210 horsepower with the ram air and 200 horsepower without the ram air. But of course, the big news with these, if you have never seen it, heard anything about an H2, is that they are supercharged. Factory supercharged motorcycle. It is 999 cc's, 1000 cc, 1 liter motor with a supercharger on it. The supercharger on these bikes turns at about 9 point something times of crankshaft speed. So if the crankshaft is doing 10,000 RPMs, the supercharger is doing 90,000 plus RPMs. So it turns very, very fast. The supercharger on these was developed by Kawasaki's turbine division, and because they went to several of the supercharger manufacturers, and everyone said that you couldn't do what Kawasaki wanted to do. And so Kawasaki built it themselves. And literally, Kawasaki, because the supercharger is so close to the intake, they say that the air is moving so fast that it does not have time to get hot before it enters the engine. And so so they did away with the need for an intercooler on these. And but just amazing, amazing technology. I personally bought one of the 2015 models on these, and so I've got a 2015 model. The biggest difference for the 2016 model still has the automotive mirror finish black, but they added this metallic metal flake in it, which I think is very interesting. I kind of dig it. It's nice little sparkles. Not that the bike didn't have enough reflection as it was. And then these little accent stripes that are silver here are green on my 2015. Has the Kawasaki Rivermark logo, just like mine. But the other difference for 2016 is the clutch. Kawasaki put what's called an FCC clutch. We use this in some other bikes, this design of this clutch. It's not the same clutch, but we used it in the Ninja 300 and I think a few other bikes. But the advantage to this clutch is it has a ramp system or a mechanism to it that when you apply torque, the clutch actually gets tighter, applies pressure to the clutch plates. So because of that, you don't need really heavy-duty clutch springs. So my H2, my 2015 H2, the clutch pull on mine is quite heavy because it's got heavy-duty springs because of the horsepower that it makes. This bike is a very easy pull. I pull one finger, and I probably could do that with mine, but not nearly as easily. It is a much heavier pull on my H2. This one is very light, so I'm really jealous of the new clutch for those of you that are going to buy the 16 models. We'll have to see if it can be retrofitted or not in the future. I don't know if it's that big a deal for me. But this clutch system, because, like I said, the way it torques and applies pressure to the clutch plates, I believe there's only 3 clutch springs in here. I can check that, but I'm pretty sure I saw a diagram that showed just 3 clutch springs as opposed to 6 or 8 or something that are normally in them. And but because of that torque system that it has, when you decelerate, it lets the clutch act like a slipper clutch. So my H2 does not have a slipper clutch, but this bike does. Now my H2 does have an engine braking setting on it. But solo seat, no passenger pegs, no passenger seat on this bike. One person's all you need on this one. The Ninja H2 logo there. These side bolsters here will actually move back from where they are. They're actually, I believe they're in the forward position. My bike, they were in the forward position. And I'm pretty sure that's how those are too, but they can actually be moved rearward. It does, of course, have the Brembo brakes. I think I pointed that out a while ago. Beautiful exhaust pipes, the headers on these bikes. Just gorgeous. As you run this bike, those are going to turn kind of blue and a darker gold and purple color, but they're going to change color a little bit. I think they're actually prettier once they change colors. The single headlight in the front's nice and bright. Has these 2 little accent lights here that kind of light up. They almost look like fangs on it there. Of course, you got the Brembo master cylinders for the hydraulic clutch and the front brake there. Instrumentation's really nice. Some guys commented that it was hard to read. I really didn't think so. Mine's pretty easy to read. These have traction control. They have ABS. They have 6 different, where it's regular ZX10 up until the new ZX10 that we have now. Before the 2015s and older, they all had 3 traction control settings. This one has 9 different traction control settings. So there's 1 1 minus, 1 plus, 2, 2 minus, 2 plus, 3, 3 minus, 3 plus. So you got a total of 9 different traction control settings. But I just love the mechanicalness of this bike. A lot of people think it's missing the lower fairing, but it's not. And I think it's just absolutely beautiful, the fact that you can see those headers and the engine and the trellis frame here. And then of course these have the single-sided swing arm in the back. And I read somewhere that one of the Kawasaki engineers said they didn't do that just because it's cool. You know, I think the single-sided swing arm is actually a little heavier than if it was a double-sided swing arm. But actually what they did that for was they said it had better aerodynamics. It let the air move around the back of the bike better. And we learned that the aerodynamics, when you get up to really high speed, really plays a big part in how fast these motorcycles will go. These are equipped with a quick shifter, which means that you can upshift without letting off the throttle and without pulling the clutch. Just stay on the gas and upshift. It is a very cool feature. It works very good. These have a heavy-duty race type. It's called a dog ring transmission in them, and boy, it really feels good when you use that quick shifter. When I first got mine, of course, my 2015 has a heavy clutch, and so when I first got mine, I really thought it shifted kind of rough, but what I've learned is it likes to go fast. If you shift it fast, especially with the quick shifter, boy, it's really silky and it really feels good. Let's see, what else? Handlebar controls, a little different. You slide this lever down, that's the start motion. This is mode for going through some of the instrumentation. It has the Öhlins electronic steering dampener, the KYB front suspension on it. The turn signals are built into the mirrors. This is your ram air duct there. Brembo reservoirs, the smoked clear reservoirs. Really good. This bike's not serviced. These bikes, of course, are pretty special, so we're not going to run it. If when we get it sold, we'll crank it up in front of the new owner for the first time and try to let them savor as much of the newness as possible. I took a lot of pictures of this bike in the crate, so if you're looking at one of those, obviously I will forward those pictures to the customer. We'll give you as much back documentation as we can on the bike, because I suspect that these bikes could become very collectible in the future. And so anyway, I'll supply you with just as much as I can on these. Kawasaki is very proud of these bikes, and I think part of how you know how proud they are is they didn't price this bike at $25,999. They priced this bike at $26,000, and so they were not afraid to stand up there and ask for $26,000 this motorcycle. Normally they're always going to be priced at $1 under, you know, $14,999, something like that. But they didn't price this bike. MSRP on this bike is not $25,999. It's $26,000. And Kawasaki, I think, is very proud of what they did here, and they should be. It's just an amazing motorcycle. And they didn't build this bike to be the ultimate track bike. They built it to be the ultimate street bike, and it is an incredible motorcycle on the street. It is the hardest accelerating motorcycle I've ever ridden, and just incredible, just absolutely amazing. People who know what it is can't help but come and look at it. Just beautiful. All right, well, that's a look at the 2016 Kawasaki Ninja